Hey, welcome back. We're here with another episode of the G.A.C. Central Coaches Preview. So today we have on Coach Zerr talking about Timberland High School. So thank you for coming.
No, my pleasure.
I'm excited. I mean, I'm really excited. I don't have to play against these guys anymore. But it's a good group you got coming back. Last year you guys competed in a lot of games, had a good year. Just couldn't quite get over the hump sometimes. I mean, you were very competitive.
Yeah, I think we were just under 500 for the season last year, but we had all new players. I mean, every position was brand new for us. Our pitchers, our conference pitchers were brand new. Every position player either switched positions or was a brand new guy. So there was a lot of change and feeling out at the beginning of the year, see what's going on. And you know how that schedule is. And it was the guys played very well and had some good wins and played well for us last year.
And that's your games looking back, they're all close. They could have gone either way. And the talent you guys had was impressive. And the scary part is, that talent's all back. Like, you did not lose much. What do you have? I think you said 17?
17 juniors last year. We had 5 seniors, and they all contributed well for us last year. But we got our main pitcher, our number one pitcher back, Richie. He's back.
He's pretty good.
He's got some good talent in him. Yeah. He's a special player for sure, and we're lucky to have him.
I mean, there's a lot, and I know going into this season, I mean, he's a highly sought-after arm. He's a special talent. So I'm sure there's going to be luckily you have some experience dealing with draft people, scouts being around for the draft. So we went through that with Adam a lot actually. And then with Richie, at least you guys have some experience how to handle that and go through that, because I'm sure he's going to have a lot of people out looking at him, which is good for him. I mean, it's a fun process, but it can definitely be a distraction if you've never gone through it. So
right, yeah. And I've talked to Richie a little bit, and we're trying to find ways that I can help him, and we haven't sat down and set out a plan yet, but I did that with Adam a couple of years ago, and do the same thing with Richie, and help Richie and his family swing all that stuff and make sure that they got what they need from me, and then make sure the guys around don't get overwhelmed by the whole situation and everything. So it's a fun, exciting moment for Richie, but it takes a lot of people to be in his corner to get him through all that.
Yeah, there's a lot going on, a lot of moving parts, a lot of people wanting things from him, and it's tough to balance all that. I mean, I went through it last year, and as exciting, as fun as it was, it takes the other team, the team to support, because like we were fortunate enough, and I know it can happen. We didn't have that situation, but the jealousy kicks in where it's like, we didn't have that. I know Nas went through it the year before, and everyone's supportive. So, and with this group, as close as this group is, and playing together for so long, it should be a comfortable thing for him. So I hope he comes out and has the year of his life and is able to go on and get drafted and be buying his baseball card.
Right, yeah. And Richie's got a good support system on the team. I mean, some of his best friends, Hayden Post, who's a big-time player for us, and Carson Ramos, those are the guys he hangs out with. So he's got a very strong supporting group within our team to help him with whatever he needs. And he's a strong young man, and he works extremely hard, so he's gonna be just fine.
He will. So you have him leading the way on the mound. You also bring back King Gary, who started 5 games with a 2.49 ERA, great year. You got him back. Is he left-handed? Right-handed.
Yeah.
So he threw quite a bit for you. 8 games, 5 starts.
Caden, at the end of the year, he pitched very well for us, pitched some big games. He got in and pitched well against Lafayette, who had
second state.
Yeah, he pitched well with them. Against them in relief, did a good job with that, and he's pitched some big games for us. He was a good Friday, Saturday guy. He was getting our 3rd or 4th game of the week, and had some tough tough moments, and he pitched. You know, he's not an overpowering guy, but he knows how to pitch, which makes a big difference.
Well, yeah, if you can throw strikes, throw different pitches for strikes, and just understand how to pitch, you're going to keep your team in games, especially when you have good defense. So besides those two on the mound, who else are you going to be looking to?
Well, we got Cash Burks back. He is a left-handed reliever. He was a left-handed reliever for us. I don't know where that'll shape up this year, if he'll go starter or reliever, but he's going to be a guy that we're going to lean on for sure. I'm really high on Cannon Manor. Manor's a tall lefty, does a nice job. He's another guy that knows how to pitch. So he's another guy that I think can be a big contributor for us. We got a couple juniors coming in. I know Austin Jorgensen's a junior coming in that threw a lot for JV and had some very good success for them as well. There's a couple of younger guys too that were freshmen last year on the JV team that we're looking to see where they fit in. You know, they're gonna push for some spots at the varsity roster, but we'll see how that all works out pitching wise. And then, you know, we got I think Chiodini could also throw some innings. He's a really good pitcher. Gavin Jones, he threw just a little bit for us last year, but he's going to Drury next year. So he's a guy that's just a control guy, hits his spots, has a nice little curve, and does a good job. And Gavin Jones, he's actually one of our quiet leaders on the team. Nobody really knows him at the high school level yet, but he has been an inspiration in this program since he came in as a freshman.
And those are the guys that the program you need. You need guys that are consistent leaders doing the right thing.
Yep.
And even if people around the area don't know, that's the nice part about doing this stuff, is people start to see a glimpse of just that type of player that's kind of under the radar but contributes so much to everyone else. So
yeah, he's been. I know he was team captain when he was a sophomore on the JV team, and then he's one of the first guys that comes up to me to tell me, "Hey, this is going on, Coach. This is what we got to do." And he really steps up for the guys and is a great sounding board for the guys, and he's just fantastic young man.
It's a great asset as a coach to know someone that's going to be honest with you and be able to be in. It's a tough job, so. Great job doing that.
Right, yeah.
So that's what you have on the mound, returning. Some of obviously Chiodini. Just make sure I said that one. That was a tough. Sorry if I close. He primarily plays third, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
So that's always a tough one to kind of use him on the mound and then balance it with.
Yeah, you know, last year we kind of had him penciled in as a guy that could contribute on the mound, but the pitching staff set up, and you know, and the guys were performing on the mound for us, so he didn't get too many opportunities on the mound, but he could be somebody that really steps up and does it. But he's such a huge part of our offense and our defense at third base, and he's just got a great attitude, good leader. But you know, he hit 404 last year.
Yeah.
He was our top RBI guy. He was a first team player for us last year. So he's going to St. Charles Community College. So he's going to be very successful there when he gets there. But he's going to be a big piece of the puzzle for us this year.
So you have Chiodini back third. Post is returning. I'm assuming he will still anchor shortstop.
That's the plan where we got him penciled in at. He's such a dynamic athlete. Oh my gosh, he's so fast. Good pop, great arm, great glove. Guys look up to him in a lot of different ways. He'll have a year of varsity experience at shortstop, so coming back for his second year as shortstop, and then his sophomore year he was our center fielder.
Yeah.
Yep. So he has a lot of varsity experience, and we just look to keep him where he's at, keep him growing, and keep pushing. So he is fun to watch for sure.
And the more time they get at the varsity level, the sophomore year, to have that extra, most guys play junior, senior, but to come in as a sophomore, contribute, I mean, that's tough to do. And then junior, so now he's 2 years in. Senior year, there's nothing he hasn't seen, and he is a great resource for those other guys that haven't been there yet. So that's the great part about having seniors, especially guys that played so much. they have the experience. Like it's nothing's too big for them. The game slows down a little bit.
Right. Last year I think I mentioned that one of our starters was either in a new spot or as a brand new starter. This year it could be almost 8 or 9 guys that are the same coming back. So that's an exciting opportunity, and then it's got to be good for those guys. But also those guys got to realize that there's some pretty nice little younger guys coming in, and guys that maybe didn't get the playing time that they were hoping for last year that been working all winter.
Yeah.
So there's going to definitely be some good competition when we get rolling.
So we got the left side, right side of the infield, second base.
So last year we were working in one of the seniors and a couple juniors and trying to find somebody, and then Brady Schuler, he came in big time. You'd give him one game and he'd do something good, and then you're like, okay, let's give him another game. And he just took that position, played it great at second base, contributed offensively, and he's a all conference soccer player too. So he's
Good
just
athlete.
a super athlete, great kid, very high academics, just does a great job. He's the kind of guy you love to have on the team as well.
Well, apparently you have a lot of those, so that's a good thing.
That's
for you.
good. That's good. This is an exciting group that we got.
I'll say,
coming
maybe I'll
this
go
year.
coach with you this year. I'm like, with this group, I'm like, wow. So to finish out the infield over at first base.
First base, well, so we had Landon Thomas. He was a junior last year. He was hurt for some of the year last year. He broke his ankle for a little while, but he's coming back. So we're looking for him to do that. And who knows? Maybe one of our outfielders. I know we got a nice junior coming in, Colin Porter. He's very talented outfielder, and he's gonna push somebody to get better, or he might push somebody to first base. Who knows? So it's going to be interesting to see how the outfield shakes up with throwing Colin in there, and Landon at first base, who just can. He's a hitter. He can hit.
That's if you can hit, you're going to be in the lineup somewhere.
Right.
Like hitters are a premium, so learn how to hit.
And our outfield's exciting. Cam Newsom, he plays football, does basketball as well, and
So he's in center field, correct?
he was our center fielder last year. Plays a great center field, and he's one of our best bunters too.
I like him already.
Yes. And he is a hard nose, 100 mile per hour guy all the time. He's great. We got Ogby. He was in right field last year. Isaiah is talented enough to be a center fielder. He's got a more of a right fielder's arm, and that's kind of why he's over in right field for us. But he was a big time player for us. I think he ended up filling out in the number 2 hole for us last year.
It looks like he hit just under 300.
Yep, he had
good year.
He had some quality at bats. Even his outs were quality at bats. He did not give up at bats, which is an awesome for a guy in his first year at varsity. With that, and then Austin Humphrey, he was our left fielder last year. Just another great athlete. He was our quarterback this year for the football team. So we got another football player with great athletic ability. Austin's also on the basketball team as well. So
which is a very good team.
Yes.
Got to watch them play recently, and it's a nice group.
That's
one of the better Timberland basketball teams I've seen.
It might be the best that that Timberland might have.
They've had some good teams, but this team is. If you have not gone out and go watch them, because that's a good group. It was fun to watch them the other night.
They got a couple sets of brothers out there, and big tall Mason. They're fun to watch. That's for sure. Good
group. So anyone? Well, hold on. I almost forgot, and I did it the other day. This position called catcher. That for some reason, I keep forgetting catchers. And your catcher, I don't know how I could possibly forget, because he's one of the better ones I've seen in a while. So you want to talk about that position?
Carson Ramos. I tell you what, that kid, he has a smile on his face every day, even in school. And school's hard for some guys. Some guys don't like the school part of things, but he's always smiling in the hallway. He is one of the team leaders. He has been since he was a sophomore for us.
Seems like he's been there forever. Maybe it's just because every time he came up, I was not happy to see him come up. He's one of those guys where it's like, oh, he's up again.
Yeah, he takes charge with the group. He's definitely one of the team leaders. He's a very positive guy with the group. his sophomore year, he played all the time for us. He was our third baseman because that's what we needed. We had a senior catcher that year, and Carson made our team better playing third base. So he was our third baseman. Moved to catcher last year, did an awesome job handling the staff. He caught almost every game. He got, we didn't push him in doubleheaders and tournaments or whatnot, but he wanted to catch. He wanted to be behind that plate. Just a dynamic hitter. Great glove. He's got a good mind for the game. We're lucky to have Carson for one more year.
Has he decided where he's going?
He's going to Northern Illinois.
Oh,
Northern
that's
Illinois.
right.
Yep.
There's
Yep.
a couple of Zumwalt South kids from last year went over there, I believe.
I think so. Yeah.
I cannot think of the left-handed pitcher. Their best, Carter Cox. Thank you.
Yep.
Holy cow. Carter, sorry, I don't think you're watching, but I appreciate you. Watched you for many years, but yeah, I think he's over there. And some other guys I know went that way. Is anyone else, as far as, obviously you have Ramos, if something were to happen to him, hopefully it doesn't, but any younger guys?
Well, Luke Bessie, he was a guy that got some time behind the plate for us last year. We got a couple juniors coming up that are catchers. Joe Becker, he made our postseason roster as kind of another catcher as well. So him, so we do have a couple of younger guys that could step in. To give Carson a rest if he needs a rest.
Yeah, those double head. And the one thing I think gets overlooked a lot, you have a talent like Richie Swain on the mound. If you don't have a catcher,
you lose all that. I mean, you got to have somebody that can handle that, because what's that if you got Richie throwing gas and ball moving all over the place, and what's going to happen to the pitcher if he doesn't have a catcher that can catch? It kind of neglects it all.
It makes it really difficult. So you're very lucky to have that level. Catching is such a hard position to find a true catcher. So when you have them, you definitely appreciate them. Especially, you really appreciate them the next year when they leave, and you're like, wow, whoa, I miss him.
Right.
Like, it's easy. You can find there are athletes to kind of replace other athletes, shortstop, center field, whatever. But man, replacing a true catcher's mentality and being able to manage the staff and hold runners, frame pitches. Even to me, one of the things I think gets overlooked is that relationship with the home plate umpire that some catchers just don't get. And like those better catchers, they have those relationships. They get the calls. They do those little things well. So, which I appreciate when they happen, and he does a great job with those. With all these returners, it's going to make trials pretty interesting.
It is.
Because you only got so many spots. And obviously you have the JV, and then you have some younger kids coming. I'm curious. I've just asked other coaches, because I'm curious, because never got to see it. But do you look at the whole program during tryouts? Do you just look at the returners and the juniors? How do you guys split it up and just manage that? Just curious.
I am big on me seeing everything. So I try to see all aspects of varsity, JV, and freshman. When we cut kids, which is terrible, it's the worst thing. I put that on my shoulders. I talk to every kid individually, and tell them why and the reasonings and all that stuff. So I have a lot of hard conversations, even with guys that you're trying to set them up for a specific role you see for them, that maybe it's a role that they're not familiar with. I have those conversations individually with all the kids. And
it's tough when you have this kind of class, when you have 15, 16, 17 seniors coming back that all are experienced, all quality kids, all doing the class behind them. It's tough because you only have so many spots. I know we've run into at times where you're having to tell a kid, we don't have a uniform for you, but they can play. And it just happens to be you have all these starters. It's just hard. It's a tough situation. But I'm glad that you see all of them and you have those conversations, because I think that's the right thing to do. But man, that's hard.
It's a long week. It's a long week, yeah. But these kids they work so hard all summer, all fall, all winter. They do all this stuff, and then you're trying to make these decisions from your open fields that you have after Christmas that you can have, and then you have that week tryouts. And they got to be nervous, and they're working, and I know their parents are nervous. So the least I can do is have a conversation with them.
And that's fair, but it's not fun.
Not fun, no.
And obviously, I'll ask just because ask anyone else, but any 9th, 10th graders coming in, they even obviously with all these returners, it'd be very difficult. But maybe you have this 9th grader that's throwing 90 I don't know about.
We got a freshman group that's coming in that has some really nice, talented players. I don't know if they're going to be able to push for varsity spots yet, but they're going to, contribute at some point with the group. And there's some very good athletes that are multiple sport players that are coming in. But it's gonna make things pretty interesting because I think the JV group had 14 or 15 guys coming back. Yeah. So if they're all coming out, and we got their 16, 17 juniors coming back, it's gonna take a lot of hard work and just from the coach's standpoint to make sure we cross all our T's and dot all our I's on this.
That's where I know we've extended tryouts a little bit just to make sure, get them on the same field and be able to see them, because it is very difficult to let a kid go that has worked that hard, has talent. It's just the depth in some of the programs, especially with these returners, is hard. And it's not a great situation for that week, but moving forward with the program's in a great position. And although it's in a new division.
Yeah, that's going to be different and challenging at the same time. I mean, gosh, Justin, who was just in here before me, he's a great guy, knows his stuff, and Russ Hill at East. I played college ball with Russ, so he's fantastic. And then Dane Goff at Washington. I did my student teaching at Washington, and I volunteered as a coach for Dane, and I worked under Dane as a volunteer when I was student teaching. So I know those guys pretty well. Yeah,
somewhat familiar with the Central, the new, and it is interesting when teams move up and down. The dynamics change because you get used to Howell and Timberland playing every year, and you just get used. So when it shifts, it's kind of fun. It mixes up a little bit, and you see different people. But Central will be strong. It'll be fun to watch that, and you guys will obviously be in the thick of that with this group coming back. Yeah.
I think we, even if we were still in the G.A.C. South, I know it would be very challenging and things would have to roll exactly the right way. But I feel like we could compete in the G.A.C. South, and then the G.A.C. Central is going to be right there with it, with all the great coaches and the talented players that are around. Yeah. It'll be fun. I can't wait to see Russ Hill. He's a great guy. I love that guy. Just always enjoy seeing him and playing against him and working against him.
And beating him.
Yeah, that's always a good time too, right?
It's always fun to play against a friend. It's like, hey, that's great, but okay, for the next couple hours, I want to beat you.
Right.
Afterwards, I give you a hug, and that's great. We'll move on, but I still want to win.
Right, for sure. That's part of that's why you come out here. It's competition and trying to give out your best effort and get your best show, and play your best, and win. That's all part of it, and learn to grow as people and as teammates and all that stuff. It's all part of it.
It's high school baseball. That's what makes high school baseball to me better than club and some of the other stuff. Is just this group's played so long together. You've gotten to know them in the classroom, out of the classroom. Those relationships to me is what makes high school baseball so much fun. I love that part of it.
Oh, it's awesome. You have that spring season, and then you get a little summer break, and then you come back in the fall, and there's those guys again. They're right there. You see them in the hallway, and they're rearing to go. They're ready to go again, and it lights your fire.
Well, and you've known these guys for a long time. You get to enjoy them. So I enjoy this season with them because obviously you're gonna miss them. Next year when they leave and you lose a whole 17 of them, it's exciting because you get form new relationships, but saying goodbye to the seniors is always the hardest thing for me.
That's always right. That's not that's not a fun moment,
No.
you know, when that last game happens, whenever it is. But it's a special group, you know, like Carson and Richie and Hayden. They'll be 3-year starters, which it's hard to come by. Those are hard to come by. So
Yes,
that's gonna be it's gonna be a special year watching them guys be mature, and they all have, you know, college offers now, and can relax and just hopefully just play ball and play ball together and have fun with it and compete. So
Make some memories, win some championships, hopefully.
let's do it.
That'd be wonderful.
Yeah.
So I appreciate you coming on, talking about these guys, and look forward to being out watching. I get to observe this year and just sit there and be like, wow, that's a great job coaching by you. I don't have to do it. So anyway, thank you for watching. If you liked it, make sure you push the like, hit the subscribe, share it with a friend, share it with a family member, share it with whoever you want. It does not matter to me, but I would appreciate it because sharing is caring. At least that's what I've been told, but that's okay.
True
I don't
that.
know what's even going on at this point, but that's fine. Anyway, that was Timberland, and they're going to be right in the thick of things, and hopefully you get out and watch them this spring. So thanks for watching. See you next time.
Hey, hey.